As the school year comes to an end, we sat down with the newly elected student government officials to find out what they had in plan for next year. President Emily Yu, Vice President Palit Gosier, and Secretary Kevin Sutherland sat down to talk to us about their plans for the 2012-2013 school year. Emily Yu shares the election process.
Well, it was a very, very close race, and I knew that I would need to do everything I could for the 10 days of the campaign in order to pull this off. And I don't know. I wasn't sure if I knew if I was going to win or if I was going to lose, but I remember in the tavern when they had the election results come out, when they were announcing fourth place, third place, I was just shaking the entire time. And then when they finally got to second place and I heard that it wasn't me, I just kind of like broke down. It'd been such a long week. I wasn't sure what I felt, like surprised or I don't know, yeah. So it was a very unpredictable race, and I think that made it a lot better for that reason.
She discusses the issues she's planning to tackle on campus.
I mean, half our student population lives on campus, so working on a lot of those issues with them, and also working with dining services, housing and dining, to look into possibly, reevaluating our vendors on campus because our contracts with Bon Appetit are kind of over soon. So kind of reevaluating, do students like these vendors? Like, is it worth it? Could we do better? So I think really just like looking into a lot of issues that students have kind of accepted that just aren't great, but really trying to fix them and not accepting like the status quo. I can't promise like this is going to happen or I'm going to bring this in, but I hope one thing I can do is bring more students to student government because I feel like traditionally it's served like a particular type of student, maybe like a political science major who's super gung-ho about, real government and student government. But I hope to bring in different parts of the community that haven't been involved before. So one way I want to do that is I've actually created a new interfaith coalition in addition to the Ethnic and Cultural Coalition and the Community Service Coalition, and hopefully that way we can bring in more students of faith or students who are interested in faith or religion, kind of expanding like student government scope of things that we discuss, and also bring in more Greek life voices because I feel like Greek life is kind of separate from student government and also the rest of the AU campus.
Both the Vice President and Secretary share their goals and challenges for the upcoming year.
I mean, my biggest challenge, programming is always, really hard to do. It's always really hard to appeal to every student out there. And so that's going to be a big task, but I'm hoping to really get student input and stuff like that. And then topping this year, I mean, this year's been great with Bill Clinton and John Legend, things, huge speakers that really were amazing, and sort of trying to top that and make next year better is going to be a task.
Yeah, I mean, for me, just reaching out to students, getting the message to them about events, what student government's doing. I think, we've pretty much mastered the tools we have, so trying to innovate on that and find new ways to, get that information to students. Using social media better and stuff like that.
Something that we've already started talking about is expanding our student outreach and expanding what we're doing with other campus organizations and other students and stuff. And so I'm really excited about sort of bringing new people in, bringing in new blood, and sort of figuring out what issues are on campus and how people react to that and sort of helping with that. So.
And their goals?
Well, my goal is it's harder to do because all my highest goal is to just do better than the last year, and so I guess in terms of specific goals, I could rattle off a bunch of things and say that I want to bring this person and that person, but the more realistic ideal goal would be to just was to do better than this year. Fix some of the problems we saw last year, fix some of the issues we had with like ticketing with like Bill Clinton and Founders Day and stuff like that, and just sort of make the year better for students next year.
Yeah, I mean, kind of the same way with programming, you just want to improve over the last year. That's kind of how, the same way with Secretary for Communications and Outreach. We always want to make sure that as many students as possible are aware of student government and know what's going on and are engaged. So just trying to improve that.
And does second time around Student Government Secretary have any words of wisdom?
Last year, the people that stayed on from the year before were really helpful when I came in. So I just want to kind of hopefully be the same way for the new people coming in this year.
And we had to ask just what was their favorite place on the AU campus.
It has to be SIS, but more specifically the DAV, because one, SIS building is beautiful. I wish they all looked like that. The DAV has lots of coffee in there, which I need a lot of because I'm just always running around doing everything, so gotta keep my caffeine addiction.
Student government office, just because that's where I spend the most of my time when I'm on campus. But yeah,
My favorite place on campus is definitely the first floor of MGC. I mean, if I'm not up here then or in class, I'm usually down there. I mean, I'm down there more than I'm in my own apartment. And I enjoy it. You see a lot of people, you get to talk to people. It's always pretty lively. It's always exciting. And there's always stuff to do. So definitely the first floor of MGC.
Unfortunately, we were not able to interview Eric Reith, but we know he'll do a great job for the upcoming school year. This has been Danielle Jones for ATV News, wishing you a happy summer. President Emily Yu, Vice President Pelet Gosar, and Secretary Keith Sutherland sat down and talked with us about their goals for student government and what they hope to accomplish for the 2012-13 year.